Well, hello there. We want to talk about the Trump-Blair plan for, Trump, Blair, and Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. The plan by this triumvirate for Gaza, for the future of Gaza. It's really a reconstruction plan, the success of which depends on Trump's willingness to push Israel forward, push his friend Netanyahu forward on the implementation of it. And of course, it follows on from the recognition of France and by the United Kingdom and Canada of Palestine as a state. So it also follows on from the unsuccessful bombing of Hamas in Doha by Netanyahu. All of these things fed in to the present situation. It also follows on from Trump's visit to the United Kingdom. All of this, hence the weaving in of Mr. Blair. All of these things matter. I remember when I stood for Labour once for Parliament, we were told, I referred to Blair as Blair, and they said, don't do that. It's disrespectful. Call him Tony or call him Mr. Blair. So, so Mr. Blair is back in the frame, looking rather older. He was at one point kind of special rep for Middle East peace process for the quartet or whatever. At that point, he only visited Gaza twice. He was that rep. He was special envoy for 5 years, but he only visited Gaza twice for a couple of minutes each time. He's not really a man to engage very strongly, but under this plan, he will sit in Cairo as the new dictator of Gaza for an indeterminate time, acting as little me to Trump's big me. So Gaza now is colonized again by Mr. Blair, the new ruler of Gaza. Well, the Gazans will be grateful for anything. This kind of stuff I'm getting out of Gaza, or we're all getting out of Gaza now, is enough to break your heart. I can't really repeat it here. I can't repeat it. But I can only hint at, dogs have gone feral. People are starving. And what this means, the implications of a whole nation starving. Just, if you want to punish, collective punishment of a people has got to be wrong. Anyway, it's interesting too that if there were an election in Israel, Netanyahu would lose. The predictions now, the Israeli polls, 42 seats for Netanyahu's coalition. Not enough to have a majority if there were an election. It's one reason. There will be no election till October 2026. Netanyahu and his cronies will hang on to the bitter end. Netanyahu has also slightly lost his mind. He's been talking about Israel as a kind of a new state. That's the word he used. He said we're the Spartans of history. He's kind of lost the plot. What's an autotic state? An autotic state is a state that is self-sufficient unto itself. Well, Israel can never really be that. So we have this situation, and Israel needs a regional security agreement. It's what it needs. It doesn't need more war, but Israel's very pressed militarily. Gaza, the Israel armed forces in Gaza are undermanned because of the high rate of burnout for Israeli soldiers now. Not good. If Trump wants this plan to succeed, he has to force Netanyahu's hand. Nothing in the past. We've gone now past, I know many of my friends, Palestinian friends, say, what about accountability? What about justice? There is no justice. There can be no justice. There can be no accountability. War crimes on either side will never be prosecuted because you're not going to, you can't implement justice one way and not the other way, and nobody in the nations that matter, the Western nations in the Permanent Five, France, Britain, and the United States of America, are going to endorse a prosecution of Israelis for war crimes. Indeed, Donald Trump is busy putting sanctions on the members of the International Criminal Court. So, but what is interesting is that Donald Trump has come through on some things. He's ruled out the annexation of the West Bank by Netanyahu and his government. He's said, no, you may not do that. So Netanyahu's had to touch his forelock and say, oh, yes, master, okay. So he can't do that. He can't do that because Trump says no. So there are some pluses here. But we're going to have an international force on the ground in Gaza if things go forward. Not Israel. Not Israel. Well, it could never have been Israel, could it? Israel lost 5 soldiers just a couple of days ago. Yeah, well, nothing, of course, you may say relative to the Palestinian losses, but it's hard, tough loss for Israel. And yeah, we all talk about getting rid of Hamas as a terrorist organization. Well, you have to be morally consistent. The killing of all civilians, by whomever, is a terrorist act. By whomever. And we look at Gaza, it's not collateral damage there, is it? No way is it collateral damage there. So it's disturbing. A superficial solution is not enough. We need something that will last. We're in a difficult situation. Israel's in a difficult situation. 66% of Israelis want an end to this war and the return of the hostages, according to a poll by the Israel Peace Index. They used to call themselves Tel Aviv University's poll. 66% of Israelis want an end to this war now and the return of the hostages. 64% of Israelis say, the latest poll days ago, that Netanyahu should resign. But the other side of the coin is that 3/4 of Jewish Israelis now oppose any form of Palestinian state. So we have a situation in which we have a new dictator of Gaza who will sit in Cairo in his office. Mr. Tony Blair will run Gaza as a true colonialist in the old-fashioned sense. What a joy for him in his dotage that he can do that. There you go. He's older than me, you know. I think he is, anyway. Cracking on, but he's no way as old as Abu Mazen, the ruler of the Palestinians, who sits in Amman and visits Ramallah occasionally. Yeah, so they're both. Gaza and the West Bank will have expatriate rulers. Well, I mean, Gaza will have. It's sad, isn't it? It's sad, but it's necessary. You remember the 4 freedoms: freedom from fear, freedom from want, freedom of expression, freedom of religion. Well, forget most of these rights. What matters is freedom from want and freedom from fear. If you care about your children, the Gazans will be grateful for an end to this war at any cost with regard to their human rights. Just let's end the war. Enough, enough, enough. Enough. In the name of God, this is enough.